Hey friends, welcome back to another video. It is my laundry room makeover video. I'm so excited to share this with you. I'm absolutely in love with the way this turned out. We did this over a few weeks, so if you missed any of those vlogs, I thought I'd put everything together into one video, so it's kind of clips here and there, lots of different days. This is just kind of like an overview of what it looked like before. So this was added onto the house. Apparently this was like the back door entrance, but they changed it into a laundry room a long time ago, and when they did, they left very little space to walk between the wall and the washer and dryer. So we actually found out that we needed all new pipes in our house, and when we decided to do that, we thought, why don't we go ahead and take this opportunity to move the washer over to the other side. And through a lot of back and forth, we decided to actually move both of them. It actually worked a whole lot better. We did have to hire for this, but it was totally worth every penny to get everything moved. It literally feels like I have a new room added onto my house. So we had this old closet on one side that was storing games and just all kinds of stuff. It used to be my pantry until we redid that. I'll link that video down below if you've never seen that. We have a massive walk-in pantry. It's amazing. But this was our old pantry. So the first thing was to pull this out before the guys could come and move the washer and dryer, move the pipes and everything. So we started tearing it out, and this house was built in the 40s. It's pretty old, and every time we redo a room, we find all kinds of crazy things, and this was no exception. We had a mold problem up at the top at the roof. We already had a new roof. They told us it wasn't from the roof, so there was some mold coming from in the walls. We didn't know where it was coming from, but we soon found out as we pulled this closet apart where it came from, and we were able to remedy that, so there's no more mold. I'm very happy about that. I always wondered why were we getting mold up there. But you can see right here when he pulled this panel off, we actually had a space in between the wall and the board that had zero ventilation. I don't know how long that's been there. We've lived here almost 21 years, so it's been a long time, and it just was full of mold. So Marion was able to get that off and clean that out, and hopefully in the future we will not have that issue. But this was phase one, ripping out the old pantry, and it opened up the room already so much. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. It feels so huge now, and this was a lot of work, but totally worth it. Alright, that is out. There is a lot of work to be done, so we're going to have to take all this wall out and fix the drywall, fix the roof, obviously, and then the floor can all have to be seamless, you know? So we started cleaning off the walls, and then we realized pretty quickly that this was just wallpaper, that we could peel a lot of it off. So we started to peel it off, and that saved a lot of cleaning. We did end up having to leave a lot of the wallpaper because the original wallpaper was basically on plaster, and if we pulled that off, we literally would have to go down to the studs and put drywall, and we were not doing that. This was not like a full remodel, but we were able to pull some of the old wallpaper off, so that did take away some of the mess, but it did leave the walls in pretty rough shape. When we redid our kitchen, we found layers of wallpaper, and so this is like the first layer. It's in here too. So, and then there was like this strawberry layer, strawberry wallpaper over that. Can't really see it. If I find it, I'll show you, but then they painted over that multiple times, so we're just trying to pull all that off because I think all of this is wallpapered, I guess. how far we got done today. So they had put multiple layers of wallpaper, and then that one is like stuck to the drywall. Like you can see, we like pulled the actual drywall off right there. So we're just gonna leave that. We scraped a lot of it to where it's kind of smooth, and this wall is probably going to be covered up anyways. All right, it's another day. Marion came in here and actually was able to pull up the old sticky towels we had down there. It was a different kind than this. We were just going to put it over the top of them, but he said they came off really easily. And then he just kind of like scraped all the extras off around here to make it kind of smooth so that we can finish that off. I found the link to these tiles in my video, so I'm going to just get the same tiles and, you know, go right there. So there's also like a, it goes down right here, so I was trying to find what size to put underneath it to make it even. He's just going to use liquid nail to put the plywood down. So our original plan was to just move the washing machine over kind of catty corner from the dryer, and that plan changed once our contractor came in and suggested we just move the washer and dryer. So Marion had already repaired the floor underneath the old pantry and put the tiles down and everything. So you'll see in a little while we did have to cut through the floor. Well, I say we, but the guys came in and they cut through the floor so they could actually run the pipes and the wires underneath the floor. So it actually in the end is so much better than what we originally were going to do, just run them along the wall and only move the washer. So you can see he's fixing the floor here, and we did have to come and pull some of this up later on, but it was super easy to fix. It was not a big deal, but we were trying to get a little bit ahead before the guys could come and do the pipes because that kind of took a little while before they were able to get here and do it. But it all worked out in the end. So I did decide to put beadboard along this back wall. It was just such a mess. I figured beadboard and then wallpaper on another wall, just kind of cover up all the mess, and it would keep it, it's not perfectly smooth. So this was I thought this was probably the best idea. So we went with beadboard because we actually have that in our kitchen as our backsplash. If you're interested in seeing our full kitchen remodel, I will link that playlist down below. We have a whole playlist full of videos. We did that about 3.5 years ago, and I kind of wanted it to tie into the kitchen. Also, my pantry has beadboard, so I love beadboard. I think it's beautiful. I think it's classic, and it kind of looks like farmhouse, but not too farmhouse. You know, it still looks clean. I like the clean lines. So we bought one piece, and then we had a few pieces in the basement that he was able to piece together and add to the other side, and you can barely see when it's all finished where the seam is, and it was worth it to me to save an extra $30. These sheets are almost $30 now, and so I was glad that we had some in the basement to salvage, but I love beadboard. I love the way that it looks. It's beautiful. So this is the window we have in the laundry room, and the trim around the window I don't really like that trim, and the kitchen window is framed in with wood that's stained, and I think it's so pretty. So I was like, I decided I wanted to just kind of match in the laundry room since they're both in the same room, and just have, you know, wood stained around the trim. And it really is so inexpensive, so simple, and it has such a big impact. So Marion was just pulling off the old one. It's super easy to pull off, and you can see how kind of messed up the wall is, but it makes a huge difference. So this was the day that the guys were here to move everything, and you can see the hole that they cut. We actually didn't know we had a huge, like, room under our laundry room. We thought it was crawl space, but it is not. It is an actual room down there, which is crazy, walled in on all four sides. But here is the washer and dryer moved, and look at how much room. It was so exciting to see this happen. All right, so Marion cut some panel. These are 1x4s, and they're gonna trim the window up there. And then we bought another project panel, like my island, my kitchen island. It's the exact same size, exact same piece. And he's gonna basically build another island for me. It's gonna be a little different, which I'll show you, but I'm gonna go ahead and stain this. I wasn't sure which stain I was gonna use, trying to match the shelf that I have up there. This is really dark, sorry, but I am not using that one. I'm gonna use this one. It is Provincial 211, so that's the color that we're going with. So I'm gonna stain the window trim, also the tabletop, so I can have a table to put my clothes when they come out of the dryer. I like to fold them right when they come out. And then we have some shelves. We're gonna have 3 shelves along the wall with the washer and dryer. So we already have one up there. He's gonna take it down and put it on that side. It's on the opposite side right now. And then he's gonna cut these 2, and there's just gonna be 3 shelves, so I need to stain those 2. So back upstairs, this is the shelf that I had on one side of the wall that was over the washer and dryer before. So we decided originally we were going to move this shelf to the other side with 2 other shelves. And you'll see in a little while, we changed it up just a little bit, but I want him to take this down, and then we patched the wall because this wall is just going to be painted a solid color. I had painted these faux barnwood planks on the wall years and years ago, and I really do love them, but I was ready for something different. I do have this still in my dining room, and then kind of like my mud room by the back door, but it was time for all this to be painted over. I was really excited about like a green. For some reason, I just love green, and I really wanted my laundry room to be green. So Marion also bought this trim. He and Jackson put this up. We have the same trim in my kitchen around my beadboard, and so I kind of wanted that to match as well. It's just really thin strips. Actually, yeah, I was going to say he might have stripped down some 2x4s, but I think we bought these, and they just used this little brad nailer and put them up. And then when I go back and paint the beadboard white, I will paint over the trim as well. So I decided that I wanted basically like my island kind of duplicated to put in the laundry room, but it's not going to have a bottom on it, and it's going to have a curtain across the front, and then the sides are going to be covered so that I can put my litter box under there. So I have some fabric. I'm going to put a curtain on the front, and Marion is going to build that. The top is going to be the stained project panel that I just stained, and then the sides are all going to be white, but the front of my island has a piece of wood that's with a little scallop design, and that was from my old kitchen. We salvaged that. It was above my window, and he put it on the front of the island, which I love. So he had some extra wood, and he's gonna just kind of like cut that out and match it so that it matches the island. It's just pretty, and I can tuck the curtain behind it. So I'll show you what that looks like. But right now he's working on building the dogs. I don't know what that is, but he's working on building it's not an island, it's a table. It's a folding table, so that when I pull clothes out of the dryer, I can put them on that, because I like to fold clothes as soon as they come out. But this is the wood, and you just traced the one upstairs, right? Yep. I just think it looks pretty, and it just kind of like defines the space, and there'll be a little space for me to put a rod underneath with the curtain hanging down. All right, it is another day, and I'm gonna paint these walls today, and it's really dark because we just lost power, and it is Sunday afternoon, and I had planned on painting today, and then also putting everything, wallpaper. I'm gonna do painting and wallpaper today and tomorrow, but right as I was about to start, we had like all this snow and then ice on top of it, power out and down trees everywhere. We never lost power, but then we had flooding rains yesterday, and then there's like 40-mile-an-hour winds, and we just heard this massive crash and boom, and I think a tree fell somewhere, and we instantly lost power. So we have no power. So it's gonna be a little dark, but I'm just gonna be painting. I'll tell you my plan for what everything is going to look like. I'm going to do a voiceover for most of this, but I thought I'd just come on and let you know why it is dark. But we're just going to be painting. Hopefully power's not out too long. Hopefully it will come back on maybe while I'm filming this, but I don't know. They've been so overwhelmed with down trees and power outages, so we'll see. But hopefully there's enough light right now to show you what I'm doing. I need to come along here and just wipe down the baseboards. So the baseboards are going to get a fresh coat of white paint, and also this wall back here with the beadboard is going to be painted white, and all the trim, and then the ceiling up here will be painted white. And then my plan is to put some wallpaper that I got on Amazon. It's going to go on this wall, and then this wall right here, all this wall, and then all this wall is going to be painted in a shade of green that I'm probably going to mix with paints that I have downstairs. So that's going to be fun since it's totally dark in my basement and I haven't done that yet. And in case you're wondering why I'm wearing this lovely, lovely getup, it's because these are my painting clothes. So I thought about replacing these baseboards. They're really wide ones. They're really old. I love that about like older houses have big, wide crown molding and baseboards. But in the end, I just figured I could wash them real good and we would paint them over. It's not that big a deal. They probably should have been replaced, but it's fine. The little quarter round at the bottom was pretty messy, but I got it cleaned up. And you can see Buttercup, my mom's dog, living with us right now. She was all up in my business, as she usually is, but some of this we had to gate her out of the kitchen because she was just so interested and so excited. But I went ahead and cleaned that so that I could give it a fresh coat of white paint, and you won't believe the difference, just a coat of paint makes. Okay, hallelujah, praise Jesus. We have power again. That was not out very long, so we can keep working. So I got this all wiped down. There's just peeling paint, and it's a mess. That's why we're going to repaint it. So I'm just using the semi-gloss Valspar Ultra White, and this is the table that he built, and this side is going to be against the wall, and that is going to be against the wall. So I just needed this to be, I told him exactly how I wanted it. I just needed it to have legs and then the brace along the bottom, but I wanted the front to be open, and I did not want a shelf down here like my island has. But then this side you're going to see, so I really wanted a little bit of a design on it. So he made this X, and then he said he could put this board in here to kind of close it off, which I agreed with. I love it. So he went ahead and caulked that last night, so it's ready to be painted. So there it is finished. I think Marion just did such a great job. He did exactly what I wanted him to do, and I love this so much, and it's going to be perfect to fit in my laundry room. It's the perfect size and custom. I can put my litter box underneath. I love it so much. He does such a good job, and I love having a husband who loves to do things like that and is able to do things like that, because I can request him to do something and he's actually excited to do it. So I love it. So I'm just gonna paint the baseboards white. I wanted to paint kind of everything that needed to be painted white at once, so I waited until that was ready to be painted, and then I painted the baseboards, and then I'm also gonna paint the beadboard. I didn't used to know that you paint beadboard, that you should paint it when you buy it, but it's white already. But when you paint it, it really does make a big difference, and it's so smooth and clean. So I wanted to paint that white, and then we'll go in and paint the green on the opposite walls. So about this ceiling, this ceiling is a mess, and we really want to redo the whole ceiling and make it match and maybe like texture this one side, but we did not do that this time. We have to figure out what we want to do and how to do it. We do have ceiling paint, and I thought about just repainting the whole ceiling with that, but I want to eventually redo the ceiling anyway, so I just used white paint and went over this one side, so you see it's not matching and it's a little brighter where I just painted compared to the other side. But eventually that will be another project, just like when we did our kitchen. I was like, the ceiling will be done later, and I did it later. I repainted it. It looks beautiful now, but the original plan was just to paint it. All right, most of the white should be dry by now. It's a few hours later, so it's dark, so the lighting is going to be a little different. I do need to go back over this and do another coat of that, but I went ahead and did the trim, second coat there, so I think that I can go ahead with the green now. And this is just a color that I mixed. I cannot link it because I mixed a bunch of colors, but here's the thing. That's what it looks like wet, and then that's what it looks like dry. So I really liked this, not so much liking that. So I went ahead and painted it on there. That's the difference when you have paint. It always, always, always dries darker. So I think that I might, I don't know that I'm going to go, I don't know that I like that. I'm going to show you the wallpaper that I picked. So this is the wallpaper I chose. It's on Amazon. I love that it's the green. It's like a greenish gray. I love the flowers. It's beautiful, I think. And I like it with that. But then with that, I don't really like it. I don't really like it. So I'm going to do a little more mixing before I decide.
So I have some other paints downstairs that I will mix in with this and just maybe lighten it up a little bit. I have the Sherwin-Williams sea salt that's in my living room. I think I'll add some of that and we'll go from there, try to see if we can lighten it up a little bit. Alright, that's the previous color and then that's this. Hopefully that will make it a little bit lighter. I'm going to go ahead and paint some on the wall, let it dry just a little bit, to see if I like that. Alright, I'm going to go for it. It's just paint. If I really hate it, I can always try another color.
I always try to encourage people to, if they're wanting to paint and they're not sure what color or they're just afraid to, I just encourage you to do it. Just you know, do it. Like I've seen so many people say, oh, I haven't painted my house in 20 years because I don't know what color to paint. I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up. But that's not my philosophy, because it's just paint and it's the quickest and cheapest way to transform a room, and you can totally transform the look of it with some paint. And don't be afraid to mix your paints. I don't know if a professional would tell you to do that, but I do it all the time. I have so many cans of paint and I thought, you know what? I'm going to just save myself a good $40 and not buy another can of paint and just make my own color. And I love it. Actually, it turned out beautiful. It's exactly what I wanted. So don't be afraid to get a can of paint and paint your room. You can see how it just totally changes the room for minimal cost.
Okay, next day I'm going to put up the wallpaper. This is what I showed you. Got it on Amazon. I'll have it linked in my Amazon shop. And they were $6.99 a roll, and I bought 8 rolls. Just after measuring, I thought that that would be enough for this whole wall. And sometimes when you, when you're putting it up, if you have a pattern, you have to match it up. So sometimes you have to cut some off and it wastes it. So I want to make sure. I think I really need 7, but then that 8th one will help me if I have to piece together. According to the instructions, you need like a scraper and a needle, so I'm just going to use this. In case you get any air bubbles, you should be able to pop them and then smooth them out, so they say. So I just stuck it up there roughly just to try and start it, so wish me luck.
Okay, y'all stay tuned to the very end of this video. We're going to have some outtakes. This might look seamless and simple, but it was anything but. Anything but. They say it's easy to apply. And honestly, once I got going, it was a lot easier. This is really good quality wallpaper. It wasn't anything like that. It's just my walls are not super straight. And when you first start out, you kind of have to get into the rhythm, and it was a little rough right here. So make sure you stay to the end. You'll see that. You'll see a little clip of that. But I was like, I need help. But I ended up doing it all by myself, and I did a great job. You cannot even see the seams. I would definitely recommend this wallpaper or this peel and stick. And this is also renter friendly. You can pull it off if I ever change my mind, which I usually do. I can change it up, no problem. It was very inexpensive. Like I said, $6.99 a roll. Very easy to match up the pattern as well. So definitely do recommend it. If you're afraid to start it, to try it, just take a few hours. Don't postpone it. Just do it. You'll probably love it and be so glad that you did it and wonder what took you so long.
I love it. I was not sure last night against the green paint if it was going to match enough, but when I have the whole thing up, it really does. It's like there's a lighter shade of green and then there's like a darker shade, and the darker shade really matches. It might not pick up on camera, but it really does. Buttercup. Also, there's my kitchen. But I also have 2 rolls left. I only used 6, so that's awesome. That's $14 I can get back. So the next thing is to put the tiles down, and Mary's going to replace some of these tiles. See how there's like a gap in them because we did have some water leak out of our washer. So he's going to replace several of those. We have extra tiles. And then we're going to add wood trim around this window. We're going to add 3 shelves over here. Folding table over here for me to fold my laundry. We're going to have the bar is going to go back up here for hanging laundry, and then we'll have some storage right here for like my brooms and stuff. So Mary just took 1x4s and cut them to length and took the old trim off, and then I stayed them, and they're just going to make the window pop against the light. Everything is so light. I like to have the contrast, and also they match my kitchen window. And we have 3 shelves that are going to go on this wall that match. They're stained in the same wood. And right now Marion is going to switch my dryer with another dryer. This is the dryer that we had, and this opens this way. And we happen to have one downstairs that was my daughter's, and it's just sitting down there. So we're going to bring that up, and it opens from this side. So it'll just be a lot easier to open and fold clothes, and to also put laundry from the washer to the dryer. So we're just going to switch those out. Shelves, we got 12, I think they're 12, they're almost 12 inches this way, and cut it down. We were going to have 3, I was going to have 3 starting right above the washer and dryer, and then another one and another one, but we actually decided it's probably going to be too crowded, and I won't be able to put as many things on the shelves because they're going to be so close together. So we're just going to do 2, one right above the washer and dryer to kind of close that gap, and then one about halfway up the wall. And I have these brackets. They're just the heavy duty ones. Got them at Walmart. They hold a lot. I don't even know how many pounds, but it has to go through beadboard and then drywall and then cement.
So this is my like rod that I had above my old washer and dryer, and I wanted to keep it there because I do use it every time I take laundry out, but it was way too far out. Marion said, why don't you just move it back some, and you save some room. So that's what I did. I had to have him go back later and tighten it because I could not get that thing to work. Those tension rods always drive me nuts, but he's really good at fixing them. So now that it's closer to the wall, so those hangers don't stick out so much, but it's all just part of a laundry room. It might not be aesthetic, but it's necessary. And then I bought this for hanging up my brooms and my mops to try to get them off the floor, because this is where I need to store them, and I grab them constantly. So this was like $10 on Amazon. I will have it linked in my Amazon shop as well. And it also has hooks on the front, so you can like pop your brooms and mops in them, but you can also hook them on the hooks if you want. It holds a whole lot of weight. So I love it. It was a great fit for this room. And Marion had to hammer drill through this wall because, like I said, our house is made of cinder block, and so ultimately he had to go all the way into the cinder block. So it is a process. Anytime we need anything hung on an outside wall, he always dreads it because you have to use certain screws and brackets and braces, and everything has to be heavy duty, and he had to use a hammer drill, and it was a process. He kept having to go to the store and buy new screws and new things because he didn't have the right stuff. And this wall was originally an outside wall. The other side of it was an addition. So this was unfortunately the same kind of thing. So he had to, it was a process, but this thing isn't going anywhere. So you pop your brooms in, but when you pull them out, you kind of lift them up so you're not like pulling them out. So it's actually super convenient. I love it, love it, love it. And then he wanted to replace some of the tiles because some of them were messed up, water damage and stuff like that. So we had originally bought this heat gun when we redid our kitchen, and we had to pull up multiple layers of these, and it is a lifesaver. I can't tell you how much I recommend this. He wasn't using it, and I said, why don't you let me go get the heat gun? And he's like, no. I said, that's why we bought it. Let me get it. So it just made the process so much quicker, so much easier. So I highly recommend that if you have sticky tiles.
Times better since he replaced those tiles. These over here had, from me moving the litter box so much, it had kind of like worn them or had this white stuff on them, and then these, like I said, they were damaged with the water, so he just replaced them and they look so much better. He put the dryer in, so I love that shelf over the washer and dryer. It just makes it look so much cleaner. That I need to do is make this curtain for the front of this. I just wanted to cover it up, and I want to be able to like slide it over to clean out the litter box. It's nothing fancy. I just need to cover the front, and I bought this fabric at Hobby Lobby. I thought it was really cute. So, and I don't want to pull out my sewing machine. I'm just going to use, it's basically like Stitch Witchery, but it's hem adhesive. The ones I've used before, you have to use a damp washcloth. You don't even have to do that with this. It's just iron on for 8 seconds. It hems it. It's great. It works so good. So I'm going to measure and then cut this to size. And I just bought a little tension rod, and we'll just stick it right there on the front. Super easy. So I just need to measure and then iron that.
So when I was picking out the fabric for this, I really wanted like a gray and white like ticking stripe, but unfortunately I looked at Hobby Lobby and they did not have anything like that. That was like cotton. They had heavy duty, but I didn't want that. I just wanted something lightweight and cotton. So I went with this kind of like khaki and white checkered pattern. I love anything checkered or plaid. I almost got wallpaper that was plaid, but I thought I fell in love with the flowers and I just went with that. So, and I don't regret it at all, but I would still thought that this kind of khaki color would still kind of go with the sort of, everything's kind of like light. So I thought it would be really pretty, and it is. I love it. I think it turned out really pretty. I don't really have this kind of color in my house anywhere. I don't really tend to gravitate to like the tans and the khakis, but this turned out beautiful. And if you are not a sewer, you don't have a sewing machine, this is so easy to use. I cannot recommend it enough. In fact, like I said, this is even a different brand than I normally buy, and this one was even quicker and easier. 8 seconds and then it's done. You flip it over and you do 3 seconds on the other side. It couldn't be any easier. So if you have an iron and you need something to sew, to hem, whatever, do this, buy this. It's so easy and it's so cheap. So there it is. That took me all of like 15 minutes. It's done. Didn't have to pull out my sewing machine, and this perfectly hides our litter box. My cats can easily get to it, so it's perfect. I love it, love it, love it. I got this basket for like 10 bucks at like Ross or TJ Maxx, and I thought it would be perfect to store just a few things that I need in the laundry room. And then I got a couple of these jars at Walmart to store my dryer sheets and my scent beads. And I don't have a lot on the shelves now, but I'll probably change them up and, you know, change them with the seasons, the decor and stuff. But I really loved these. I thought they were so pretty, and the black lids tied in with the brackets for the shelves. So they were beautiful. So I love my scent beads. I gotta have my scent beads, and this jar is like a really wide mouth compared to that jar that I've been using, so it's so nice to use. But I just wanted to put a few things up there. Definitely know the things that I have to have that I grab often, and there's lots of extra space. Like I'll show you in a second how I styled them, but I do have a lot of space on these shelves. And it's good because my pantry, even though it's huge, is kind of filling up, and I didn't really have a place to put my paper towels, and I was storing them in the basement, but now I can put them up here. And you can hear somebody is texting me as I'm doing this voiceover. These plants also, if you haven't been around, they're my favorite ones. They came from At Home. They're about $10, and they look like they have dirt on like the terracotta. They are so cute, and they come in several different colors. I think I have like 5 or 6 of them, but I always want more. And I love the way that they drape. They look so natural to me. So I had to add one of these in here. And this little sign actually came from a subscriber, and I know like signs with words are kind of going out of style, but I just love it. I love the black and white, and it ties in with the colors, and so I thought it'd be really pretty on the wall. And then I have that vase that was my grandmother's, just added it over there. And then I got one of these pet bowl kind of like keepers to keep it up off the floor and keep the mess contained. So I added that at the end, and that is it. This is the final reveal. Thank you so much for being here, for watching this video. I hope this gives you some inspiration. This project did not cost a lot. It was definitely done on a budget. Just took a lot of elbow grease, and of course the biggest expense was having to hire someone to move the washer and dryer. And in the end, it was worth every cent. I love it. Like I said before, it feels like we added another room onto our house. We are just amazed at it, and every day we just stand there and look at it like, I cannot believe this is our laundry room. It was so worth it. I don't know what took us so long, but anyway, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if it inspired you. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. Make sure to stay to the end for the outtakes, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Sawzall.
Whoa! What is that black? Is that the cinder block?
That's probably mold.
Oh my gosh. Oh, now that you're done.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I still gotta do the other piece though. Oh, how did I cut it too short?
Oh, ha ha ha. It's kind of a two-person job. Already. Ah! Oh no. Marion! Oh my god.
One there. One there. Yes, I did it right. Thank you, Jesus.